So up to the first checkpoint at 1.5439 from Erwin. Davidova comfortably inside that.
I like the explosiveness. We'll see Davidova, well, this is an easier part of the track, but when we see her on the flat or the gentle climbs, really explosive floor legs. So for me, she's on as good a form, I think, as we've ever seen her, and I think she will be this season.
So it's a 3-minute kilometre at the moment, but bear in mind they've done a whole lot of climbing to get to 1.5.
Yes, and this is the steepest part of the whole track, but it comes on the back of what, the last 45, 50 seconds you've been climbing before you come into picture here, so it is a brutal climb.
Five laps of 3 kilometres to make up the 15 kilometres, the distance for the men's short individual. Did you race any of those, Mike, the short individual?
I didn't. I would have liked to have, but the 45 seconds represent the shorter distance, don't they, in the short individual?
Aita Gasparin, the family based in Pontresina, which those of you that have either been to Summeritz or those of you that have entered the Engadin Marathon will know Pontresina pretty well. That, of course, is at the back end of the season, 8th of March, the Engadin Marathon. And if you're going to do a Loppet race, it's the one to do because it's all downhill. Julia Tannheimer.
Beautiful scenery. Tannheimer, I'd say just 20-year-old and just actually over 20-year-old. I think she's going to be fantastic, and who knows, she could place herself top 5 today if all the targets go down.
Yeah, and she raced in the World Championships individual last year as a youngster, which was brilliant. She shot 1:00, was in the running for a top 10 and missed 3 on the last shoot. It happens to the best. Here goes Tandervold, it happens to her far too often. 91% hit rate in the pro last year, 67 in the stand. Deidre Irwin is having all sorts of problems, can't work this out. I'm assuming she's on the right target. 4 out of 4 have gone wide.
Look, the wind, Patrick, so it's completely spun around from it was left, it now appears to be from the right, and she didn't have a clue, and you have no idea, you cannot see the fall of the shot. And what a horrible start to a race, missing 4 targets.
Yeah, the only positive I can think of that, Mike, is she hasn't got to do 4 loops of the penalty loop.
Well, that's a slender positive.
You, of course, will find something else positive to take from it.
Well, well, it'll discipline her for the next time in, and she will know where those shots went, so she will adjust her sights. And it's the same scenario here. That wind is strong from the right now. Got to be aware of the flags and how to adjust your sights.
Yeah, and this is perhaps why you do not want to start in the first 3 or 4 athletes, because you are the crash test dummy in many ways. 4 out of 5, that's not bad for Parity. I think she'll be happy with that when she sees what happened to the American, Deidre Irwin.
What a shame, and the coaches will have picked up on what happened to Deidre and out on the track. You're not allowed to inform your athletes 10 metres from entering the range, but the information now will be rippling down to the athletes.
So where do you think they put the assistant who takes the radio message from the coaches on the range?
Yeah, actually, it's never great getting your real information as your mindset switching in. So it'll only be about 400 metres back on the final corner, the final rise before you drop down onto the flat prior to the range. So that's where the last information will be picked up. Bornikova, good powerful start from her. Adjusting the sights there, so Bendika clearly just immediately adjusting the sights. Pulse rate's quite low there at 100 and dropping now to 136. That's a rapid drop off in pulse rate.
Yeah, bearing in mind, what did we get the clock on? It was about 1:15 from the top of that hill. So a minute 15 of relatively easy skiing. Well, lots of penalties already, Mike.
Doesn't look great. Just one, yes, 1 out of 6 now coming out. Now 7 actually coming in, the 7th athlete. Yeah, not a great start. I think you can see the flags now, their backs from the left, so roughly closer, certainly closer to the 0 setting. Basega. I remember in Ruhpolding at the individual, well, she had her first ever podium, and I honestly thought that leading into the World Championships in Lenzerheide in Switzerland, I thought we were going to see great things from Amy Basega, but I think the pressure got to her. The expectations were high after that first podium in her career.
Yeah, I thought the Swiss did really well. They missed. They had 4ths and 5ths. They were so close to getting on the podium. It didn't happen, but they did enough to keep the fans intrigued, to keep the fans turning up day after day. And actually a really good World Championships in Lenzerheide, although maybe, arguably, not enough people out on the track supporting it. Now, Let's see what Tannheimer does. 4:32, the fastest time so far from Davidova, who started pretty early on. Halvarsson, and certainly Halvarsson's teammates, the 2 Herberg sisters, should be able to beat that time of 4:32. Tannheimer does it 5 seconds inside. That's rapid.
That really is rapid. That's aggressive. That's an athlete who's full of confidence. You normally hold back a little on the first lap, but Tannheimer at 20-year-old, no holding back.
Tandervold, a little more conservative start, I feel. She'll be 4 or 5 seconds outside at the most.
From her 5 wins, Tandervold, one of them was in the individual, and that was in Oslo, where the pressure, you could argue, at home was at its greatest.
Got a long extension of that right arm.
It's good to see the different angle when a left-eyed biathlete is shooting. I think Maya Klotens, I think she will shoot 20 out of 20 today, and I don't think more than 5 athletes out of 106 in this field will achieve that score.
Yeah, you've been looking at the figures as well.
She's pretty good.
Last year, what did we have last year? Four individuals. Kontiolahti and Ruhpolding, 4 went clear. The World Championships in Pachuca, 5 went clear. And I was interested, Mike, I had a look at the success rate in the first stand relative to the second. And although they always hit more targets in the first of the standing shoots, it's not a massive difference. It's sort of 38 to 45, 35 to 33, 40 to 36.
Yes,
surprised.
It is interesting. It's often the athlete that goes 0, 0, 0, then comes in for the last 5 where they miss.
Yeah. Whoa, how about that from Benet? 5 out of 5. I think that is going to go down as the fastest shoot so far. And it's put a 5.9 clear, and Benet came in 5 seconds behind. So a good turnaround. Risky tactics, maybe.
Yes, that was a fast shooting rhythm from Benet, but it's still 29 seconds from stop to start. So I think we're seeing it from most athletes. They're taking a little more time in the setup to get relaxed.
Yeah. Lisa Vitozzi, I think that's a fairly good draw. She's not in the red group or the blue group, Mike. Is that fair?
It's well, she missed. Of course, she missed so much. I suppose you've got to stick to your points from last year. And yeah, the blue group and now the red group, the top 15 in that red group, the next 15 best athletes in the blue group.
Vanessa Voigt just getting underway for Germany. She's another athlete that missed the second and the third trimester, as they call them, last season. She's been on the podium before, as has Shabatova, who's ready to start now. Let's see how Tannheimer gets on. Absolutely storming the first K&a-half. Had the fastest time up at 1.5 when we were last up there. Remember, a minute penalty for every missed shot. There's that hard work. Thrown away.
Good discipline to hold the nerve, to compose herself a little more, and I think the pace, the release of the shot slightly slower for those last three.
Now, Sandoval, her prone shooting and stand shooting are chalk and cheese.
Looked good. There was no, well, there's the negative is the strength of the wind now. The process there I thought was excellent.
Yeah, it's very strong lanes, 20 to 30, but it must be dropping down over the top of the building, Mike. Slightly surprised that the flags are flying so horizontally. Here's Kuzmina, multiple Olympic gold medals to her name, and with 3 out of 5 on the first shoot, I don't think she's going to be adding to her list of honours today. But the conditions are tough. Deidre Irwin is back in for shoot number 2, 6 kilometres completed. Dimitrenko down the far end has gone for lane 30. I'm not sure I would go for lane 30 in these conditions.
She's betting that the buildings, sitting as, or shooting as close to the buildings as she can. She's hoping there is less wind.
But the wind is coming, it's not coming across the range, it's coming from slightly behind them. So I just think there are going to be a massive amount of rotors in those last 3 or 4 lanes. Hasn't helped.
I'd love to get a camera shot back there. We'll get a view hopefully soon as the athletes come in. This wind really has picked up. Louis was saying it's the same kind of day as the weekend relays, but much stronger wind at the moment.
Yeah, incidentally, Mike, Kuzmina, the fastest into the range so far, 7:32, just ahead of Tannheimer and 2 seconds ahead of Tandrevold of Norway. All of them missing targets.
I have a look at all the athletes, Patrick. So generally it's felt that the far left lane, I've only seen athletes in 29 and 30, so all the athletes are feeling that those last 2 lanes are better to shoot on standing.
Yeah. And
you go back to Kuzmina, she is the athlete with the most victories in this race today at 18. Dorothea Wierer with 16, not far behind.
But of those that have won, her last victory is the longest period away.
Definitely is. When was it? When was that? Back in 2020?
I think we're going back...
maybe before.
Maybe a little bit before.
Dora was 2021, her last victory. I think I'm right in saying that.
Ooh, 23, I thought. We can check up on that.
I think
Dorothea Wierer.
Might be right. Lampitz seems to have improved this season from what we've seen at the weekend in terms of shooting, and that's great news for her with her brilliant ski speed. Vitozzi making that upper part of the hill look quite easy, catching a lot of speed or carrying a lot of speed into this fairly fast left-hander.
Yeah, I think Vera's last victory, she certainly had 2 victories here in 2022 at the start of the World Cup season. Lou Jean Monod, she doesn't have to go far back. Brilliant season last season. 12 wins in all, and so close. I know she was 20 points adrift of Kreutz at the end of last season, but it literally was one shot that decided it, or one fall that decided it, because she fell with 400 metres or 500 metres to go of the last race of the season. Desperately unlucky.
Just checking back on Kuzmina, yes, it was way back in season 18-19. She had 3 wins on that racing season, so quite a long time ago.
Helva, really impressive over the weekend. Can she keep her run of success. The wind picking up just as she prepares for shot number 3.
She released that first shot very quickly at 13.8 seconds from stopping. Brilliant.
That's good. She becomes the 12th athlete to clear all the targets. 26 through already, so we're just under 50%, which in these conditions actually is not bad at all. No one so far has hit 10 out of 10. The defending overall World Cup champion Preutz, a little bit of a messy start from her, but nothing lost. I think that's just an indication of how relaxed she is. Just cruises out of the stadium here in Östersund.
Vristova, the first of those to get 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And you could argue the least experienced, the 22-year-old, but she's such a gifted, a natural shot.
Kleutens could join her. Long wait for that last shot, but it's gone down, and that means it was worthwhile. And we could well have Belgium in the lead. 17:53, the leading time at the moment, and Kleutens is going to be way inside that. Well, that World Championship success that she had was no flash in the pan. Schottheim, who had a disaster on the first day of the season, and the very first shoot couldn't hit anything, and ultimately kept the Swedes off the podium, because the remaining 3 in the team did brilliantly well. That's a much better start. 6.8 outside. 2 out of 12 clear now. First individual race for Vitozzi for over 12 months. What is it going to be? The change in the sights was pretty definite.
Oh, that's a real shame. Her time into the range was excellent. I think she only clicked the sights there about 9 mils left. Maybe that's, I'd love to see where the shot missed, probably at 3 o'clock.
Hannah Öberg, the older of the 2 sisters, as I'm sure you know, and the one that really kick-started Sweden's success back in 2018 in Pyeongchang, coming home with a gold. Yeah, I think the most surprised person in the stadium was her mother.
She could not believe it.
Yeah, great pictures, will last long in the memory. Vanessa Voigt for Germany, taking her time, looking at her speed coming in. She was 9 seconds outside. She's going to have lost a few more seconds, but by hitting 5, she stays in the running.
Yes, a lot of discipline in a race where you know the clock is important, to take 5 seconds in between each shot. So that's very deliberate, very focused, and trying to eliminate any possibility of error. Magnussen fast out on the track. In fact, she's actually fastest by half a second into the range. It's interesting, this range is always a difficult, or this World Cup is always challenging in terms of the wind, and it surprises me if you shoot on this range every day of the year, or most days of the summer months. Actually, of course, this is the Swedes' base. You tend to learn the personality of the range, and it is a slight home advantage, I'd say.
Now, don't say Tandervold's going to hit 5 in the stand. Yes. Excellent. But the problem with the individual, you've got to do it twice. And if you hit the first 5, then it can play havoc with your mind when you come in for the second shoot. So that's great news for Tandervold. To be honest, Mike, she produced some really good pre-World Cup season races, so no surprise to see her going well. But that miss in the prone has kept her off the top of the podium.
It's still okay, you know, given the conditions. 1 out of 10 is great. A great news day for Tandervold. Given the weekend, she'd lost a little confidence. She certainly looked like she was very, very frightened during the zero, not quite knowing if it was good, if it was bad, and the initial 5 were really quite poor, but that's a brilliant start.
Dorothea Wierer, fastest into the range. Well, as I say that, Klemencic has just bettered her time by 13 seconds, so 16:09, the quickest for the first 6K. And with a shoot, so they're pretty much matching the pace for the best park runners on a flat course. And this course here in Östersund is anything but flat.
Klemencic, it's rapid fire, isn't it? 2.2, 2.1 seconds in between. And yet sometimes that works. We don't break your rhythm because of the wind. You could lose 5 or 7 seconds in between each shot if you're trying to stabilize for the windy conditions.
Next to the Slovenians, just coming in, Lena Repinch. Lampitz still with the fastest time into the first shoot, 7:29. Other athletes skiing well, Magnusson, Kuzmina, Tannheimer, Tandrevold, all going well. Vitozzi, 6th fastest, so going okay. Vera yet to come through. Now, Anna-Marie Lampitz.
Look at the size of the handhold on that rifle. It's like a glove, or your fingers just fit up there. Really does help support when it comes to standing. Beautiful prone.
That's nice. That is nice. Tandrevold and Lampitz hitting 5. There's a surprise. Turn up for the books. But, Mike, you know, in the relays we saw over the weekend, Lampitz actually looked pretty solid.
Do you know what? I was just thinking as she skied in, the difference is she's not breaking the field by 8, 12 seconds on the first lap. She's backing off a little. I think she's learning biathlon that it's not about killing yourself on the track and having the fastest time. It's a combined discipline. I think she's beginning to understand it.
Second shoot for Amy Berserger.
Oh, you could say that was the thinking shot there. She held it a little longer. She was looking in such a relaxed flow for the first 4.
Anna Andexer of Austria, 22-year-old from Saalfelden. Oof.
So she wasn't happy with her left elbow there. Sometimes you want to put it either on the hip or hip bone or slightly in front of to get that better support. Oh, it didn't work.
What are you thinking in terms of winning shooting score, Mike? We've only had 6 through the third shoot, but no one has got anywhere near 15 out of 15. We've got 3 athletes with 10 out of 10 so far, and after the second shoot, they are lying 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Interesting, isn't it? I think you could get away today with 1 target miss, possibly even 2, but I'm quite sure we'll still see 4 or 5 with the perfect shooting scores.
Now, here's someone who seldom misses in the prone position.
Oh, that's more like it. She really did. I think that was 4 or 5 clicks. So what are we talking? 14, 15 mils to the left. Beautiful.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Very, very intelligent biathlon from Franziska Preutz, the Yellow Bib wearer, indicating that she was the World Cup champion last year, up into 4th place, but already the other coaches will be getting a little bit nervous. What have we got? We've got about 17 athletes have hit 5 out of 5 on the first shoot.
And to have Jean Monod exactly 1 minute behind her on the start list, that can put pressure on the 2 big names of biathlon. She's adjusting the other way. That's interesting. Has the wind dropped away? I think it has.
Wow.
Interesting. What a contrast.
Both Jean Monod and Preutz hugely successful in the prone position last year. 5 out of 5. As you would expect, and the two best from last year have started their individual campaign in good style. It's very, very early days. That's one of the Öberg sisters, I think, coming in. We'll try and catch up on them.
Yep, it's Hannah. I think that the Swedish team with Florian Steirer, who's come across from the German team. He was the shooting coach for the German women's team. He's another set of eyes on their shooting, and I think that's certainly lifted the Swedish team into this new season.
Hannah Öberg with the fastest ski time. Oh. Well, there's the difference, Mike, between the top two from last year and Hannah Öberg, who I know didn't have a brilliant season, but how about that from Camille Benet? She is a potential winner here, not just because she's shooting clear, but she's skiing very, very well. 25.03, she's nearly 20 seconds quicker than the next athlete coming into the range, and she's going to head out with a really good margin, 22.7.
Vanessa Voigt again, going for the slower approach, between 3 and 5 seconds in between each shot probably, and quite a long setup time of 19 seconds. She wants all 20.
Justine Brezard-Boucher will just have seen her teammate go through the third shoot. Under 23 champion from last year, Michelin. Voigt's having a nightmare, Mike.
Oh, 19 seconds between shot 3 and 4. 10 seconds between that is a huge amount of time lost.
So a miss, which the way things are going is looking as though it may be very expensive. With a minute added, the penalty in the women's individual is more severe than in the men's.
It is, and you can't ski your way out of trouble. I totally agree. The men's race will be, what, 48 minutes, 49. This will be 40, 41 today.
Tandrevold in third position coming in. 34 seconds down, but the two athletes in front of her, Benet and Vleutens, have both gone clear so far. So she's taken 26 seconds out of them in terms of ski speed. Now, another 5 out of 5, and Tandrevold is going to be in a position to challenge for the podium. It's all pressure come that final shoot. Certainly not rushed. 4.8. Ziggy Mazet will be happy with that. 14 out of 15. She would have bitten your arm off at breakfast for that. And now she's got to hope she can turn that into 19 out of 20.
I'm so impressed, you know, for an athlete. Although she did it 2 years ago, she had a horrible 2 races leading into the, I think it was the Mass Start that she won, and she had some horrible days. Put it together when she really wanted to.
Oh, not often we see Lotte Lee miss one, let alone 2. The wind certainly picking up again. Let's see if Jean-Richard can cope.
Just one big breath in between each shot, it pays off. And she keeps that 2.4 to 2.6 second rhythm. It takes a long time getting those ski straps back on, but so do most of the biathletes. It's a great feeling when you've managed to put it together, putting 5 down. It gives you a little bit of energy, confidence as you leave the range.
Now, big moment for Anna-Marie Lampitz. In for her second shoot, she's got a 17-second advantage over Klemencic and Andexer. Shooting in the stand position is not her strong point, but we were just hoping we might see something special this year. 3 out of 5 is average for her.
Oh,
that's it.
What a shame. Was that a smile?
First shoot coming up for Elvira Öberg. Missed the weekend's action due to a hint of a cold. I think that's probably the most accurate way of putting it, Mike.
Yes, they're very protective. If there's even a slight hint of a cold, it's rest time, isolation from your teammate, your roommate.
The two Öberg sisters, 1 and 2 in terms of ski speed on the first lap of 3K. And neither of them are going to top the shooting charts, I don't think, today.
That wind is testing. It's not easy.
We've got 2 athletes clear after shoot number 3. Neither of them have ever won a World Cup, and both of them are in a position to do so today. Benet of France and Kleutens of Belgium, who, remember, had such a good World Championships in Lenzerheide last year.
Still some big names to come in for the first shoot. Breza Boucher, of course, Schakaide and Dorothea Wierer. So Dorothea Wierer, if she can hit 20 today, which she has so often done in the past, I think she could certainly challenge for the victory. Schlettermark we saw there. She's only missed 1 out of the first 15. Just this final stand shoot remaining.
Breza Boucher, the fastest at 1.5 as we watch Lisa Theresa Hauser of Austria. First miss for her. A lot of big names missing 1 on the prone. Preutz, though, was super composed for her first prone shoot. Very deliberate change in the sights. She won't have done the same. That's
expensive.
I think she only missed 2 on 1 occasion last year.
That really is out of character, and that's a big dent in her hopes for today.
Well, that's great news for the French and the Belgium team, because that is going to put Preutz a long, long way down. We're waiting. Kleutens, I think, should be the first of those who've hit 15 out of 15 to come through the range. Expecting her in roughly 3 minutes' time. 26 is Ella Halvosh. For Sweden, Lou Jean Monod went clear in the prone. She can go ahead of Franziska Preutz. Is there a danger that Jean Monod and Preutz will focus too much on each other?
I think so, and Preutz probably well aware that Jean Monod was making some ground, only 8 seconds. I wonder if she knew that, but Jean Monod, no problem whatsoever on the range.
Yeah, and having come in just 9 seconds down on Lampitz's time, she's second fastest in, she's going to be fastest out. 16.7 the margin to play with. Third shoot for Lisa Vitozzi. Kleutens yet to miss a target. 18 out of 18. 19 out of 19. This is the thinking shot.
No!
Oh, it's gone wide, and she will be absolutely furious with herself.
Do you know, at the end of the
misses too.
Yeah, with Vitozzi missing now, Kleutens may well regret that final half a second snatching the trigger.
Well, here's Benet, who started 30 seconds down on Kleutens.
Also missed.
She misses her first one. Still no one with 20 out of 20. And Benet matching Kleutens. She was about 16 seconds ahead coming in. So I imagine Benet is going to go out with a lead. Justine Breza-Boucher.
It wasn't fast, Patrick, at 42.3 seconds, but it was damage limitation after that second shot missed.
Yeah, we've still only got 2 athletes who've gone clear after 3 shoots, and they have both missed on the last shoot. So with, what, 13 athletes through the final shoot, no one is clear so far. And normally we get 4 or 5 athletes. I think with these changing wind conditions, I think we might be lucky to get 2.
It's looking that way at the moment. Still some big names out there to come in for the first time.
Anna Magnusson in yellow and blue for the host nation. 50 is Ocean Michelin. Magnusson with that famous win in Le Grand Bonnard. She'll be looking forward to going there. As we watch her shoot, just an opportunity to run down the programme. Hogfilson next week. Annecy Le Grand Bonnard 50 to the 21st of December. Then they focus on Christmas celebrations. And then we'll be back in action 5th of January in Oberhof, of course, and praying for a little bit of decent weather. Now, Tandrevold, 19 out of 20 from her, Mike. Well, it's not going to happen. Come on.
Oh, no.
Well, she did well to get the last 2, but 3 minutes added. That's more than a kilometre of skiing. I think, what do you think, top 15?
Top 15, I think that is possible the way she's skiing. I'm disappointed for her because I really thought with the, yes, missing 1 out of the first 5, then being so disciplined second time in, third time in, the pressure, the mind was definitely involved in that final 5. What a shame.
Yeah, we've got a couple of athletes with 19 out of 20. We've got Vistova and Slettermark of Green, and has shot really well again. She's hit 18 out of 20.
Richard just fighting hard there, but it's worth the fight. Just desperately trying to get the timing right for the final 4 shots. Worth a smile. Or a grimace.
Where's your money at the moment?
It's
one of the French athletes, and Jean Monod is in the driving seat at the moment, having gone clear after 2.
Yes, she certainly, Jean Monod, she's such a brilliant shot most of the time. Her bad days aren't too bad. She'll miss 2 on a bad day. Leinamo, that's pretty good at 26 seconds. Fast shooting, in fact, and 10 out of 10.
Yep, and she's going to be within striking distance of the leaders. 10 seconds outside into second place, and that is an unusual leaderboard. Jean Monod, yes, but Leinamo, Benet, Kleutens, Rapinch, and then Vitozzi down in 6th. That, remember, is just after the second shoot.
And Ristova,
lots of things will change.
Youngsters, and you know, names maybe that we would not expect in the top 10, looking great.
Now this should get some response from the crowd. Urberg perhaps one of 2 or 3 athletes who can afford a miss in an individual. I don't think she can afford any more. 18 out of 20 could well see her on the podium. So that's 8 out of 10. She has to be perfect from here on in. This is looking good. This is looking good for Slovenia.
So comfortable, Ed. No stress whatsoever. Confidence in her reaction times. But when you're in this new place of hitting 15 out of 15, Repinch now has some distance to try not to think about what's coming next over the next 3 kilometres.
Yeah, she's never bettered 18. If she keeps going the way she is certainly going to do that. Might even find herself in the top 3. Amy Basurga with 18 out of 20. On a day like this, I think that is going to be well above average
It is, but as with Klutens, the very last shot Baserga missed, and take that one shot away, she'd be moving into first position. She knew that when she was shooting, and that's what the final shot, the pressure of that final shot really does.
So the standings after 4 shoots. Benet of France is leading, 35.49 the time. Kleutens of Belgium, 25 seconds back. Baserga we've just seen go through 43 seconds back. And Tandrevold, despite missing 3, is still in 4th place. But a lot of big names to come through the 3rd and the 4th shoot. And here is the first of them, and they don't come any better. Franziska Preuss. Her first prone was a masterclass. Her first stand was very, very uncharacteristic. Again, another change on the sights. The wind has dropped off. You can still see, Mike, lanes 25 to 30 is where the wind is strongest.
It's very strong down that end of the wind. Of the range. Preuss, the problem is when you've skied, for some 16 minutes from when she adjusted, made a big adjustment on the sight, you often forget how many you've adjusted, but she did push it back when the wind dropped off there.
So same position as Tandrevold. So we'll get a good indication of those two in terms of ski speed. Preuss, I think, is some way down on the Norwegian. Now here comes Maja Kleutens. It's been just about perfect. 20 out of 20, and we may well have been celebrating a victory for her. Lou Jean-Monod in for the second prone. Kleutens goes for every 10th of a second, and it could be so important. 2 minutes inside the previous best. That is a cracking way to start the season. A miss from Jean-Monod, Mike.
Surprising miss. It was the first one, Patrick, but she's had to slow down. She broke the rhythm right the way down to make sure the next 4 went down.
Yeah, Jean-Monod was the quickest in, 34 seconds clear. And if she hits 5 out of 5 in the stand, I think she's still going to be ahead of Kleutens. Here's Camille Benet, who had the advantage over the Belgian at the start of the last loop, and she's held it well, 29.3. The Totsi needs these, not just for the position, but for the confidence, starting again after an entire season off. And that is okay. Both the problems coming in the prone, and when the wind is changeable like this, Mike, the prone is harder.
It's tough, and you know, a lot of the times when big names are coming in, you need a lady luck on your side as well. Some have had more difficult wind conditions than others in terms of big names.
Well, just to update you, we have not too many across the finish, only 12 across the finish. Benet of France is leading. Tandrevold is on the chase. She was a minute 26 behind Benet last time we saw. But this is going to be worth a top 10 finish for Tandrevold. And that is why, Mike, despite the fact that she has some disastrous races, that's why she's still in the team.
It's very much. And, you know, I do feel for her when she has her bad days. Today, it wasn't bad at all. She'll be disappointed that 2 out of 3 came in the last 5 shots, and therefore that is a little bit of the mind getting involved, and that is an issue, and it's an issue that somehow needs to be fixed.
Yeah, slightly surprised. I think she's going to have lost something like 4 or 5 seconds to Benet on that last lap. She was 1:22 behind coming out of the chute. In fact, 1:31 behind Benet. Oh, so she did make up ground in the initial part of the loop and then has gone and lost it again. She got back to 1:22, now at 1:26, into 3rd position. 3 misses. 2 more hits and she'd have been in the money. And a Magnussen, top right-hand corner of your screen. Vanessa Voigt started with a clear chute. Can she finish with one?
Voigt again, it'll be like 30 seconds to this first shot. It's incredible the amount of time she's taking. She's wanting perfection today. She's already missed 2. I think I would opt for a faster rhythm. 52 seconds to miss the first shot on a minute penalty per target race. Time stands still though, Patrick. Something you're just focused on keeping that rifle steady. She's clearly not comfortable in her position. I've never seen anything quite like this in terms of the amount of time she's throwing away. Another 24 seconds gone. I think coaching staff tonight will have a talk about length of time on the range.
Yeah, somehow you've got to stop this becoming a habit.
Yeah. Your brain takes over, you want accuracy.
Richard just settling. Shoot number 3.
I thought when Richard was going through the routine, Christian, the stadium announcer, just mentioning her name, it just breaks into your way of thinking, and she controlled that well. She got all 5.
Yeah. I think last year, Mike, of all the 4-shoot races, only twice did she miss more than 1. In fact, if we go to Contiolati, I think she missed 2 in the mass start there as well, but 2 or 3 times she only missed 2 targets. The rest of the time it was 1 or clear. So she is a huge, huge asset to the French team. Lampids, we're back to the old days, and we thought it had changed, and a wry smile across her face. 7 minutes added from the standing alone after some really good prone shooting in tough conditions. Now, here comes Berserger into the finish. She was in the top 3 when she went through 13.5. I don't think she can catch Cloytons. Tandrevold sitting in 3rd at the moment.
She might depose. I think she will depose Tandrevold.
Yeah, comfortably. So France, Belgium, Switzerland, Norway, Slovakia, Italy, Hungary are the top 7 teams at the moment.
Well, is that the new world order in biathlon? Probably not by the end of the race. It's still quite early finishers to this point.
Well, you know who's missing? Sweden and Germany.
Yeah, but look
from
at this.
Those top 7 positions. Best of the Swedes. I don't think there's too many Swedes have finished so far. Now, are we going to see the first athlete hit 20 out of 20?
Come on.
Big job. Big job.
Nope. So near, Patrick, yet so far when it comes to the extra heat on those last 5 rounds, especially when the first 15 have all gone down. It was looking like a brilliant day for Repinch.
Yeah, she came in 4th. I think she's going to go out in 24th. In fact, it won't be quite as bad as that. Might be down in 14th. Let's have a look. Christopher on 2:10. In fact, she's still in the top 10, despite those 2 misses. Ockenthaler for Italy. What have the Italians got to shout about? Not a massive amount, actually, Mike. Carrara down in 18 after 3. Vitozzi in 19 after 3.
Just struggling to find Dorothea Wierer. I did think she was going to provide something today, something special. 57 taking a tumble. Tomingus.
Vera started 64, so isn't in for a 3rd shoot yet. She was 23rd after 2, Mike. She missed 2 in the first 2 shoots. Oh. 22 was Carrara, Vera, Camola. The Italians closely bunched. Ockenthaler just ahead of them.
Ockenthaler might be the big hope. I think she has 10 out of 10 to this point.
Now, Vitozzi hitting the same number of targets as Tandrevold, and I think she's going to be about 30 seconds ahead of the Norwegian. Berserger's time is under threat, is it? No, she's safe. Tandrevold, however, is going to go down yet another place. Now, Lou Jean-Monod. Can she make it 19 out of 20? One miss so far on that second probe. Shot number 11.
Incredible.
That's a chance of the victory gone.
Benet will be in disbelief right now. She will have believed Jean-Monod would have put all of those last 5 down.
Yeah, Jean-Monod came in 20 seconds down on Benet. Benet, of course, missing on that last shoot. So it was an opportunity for Jean-Monod. But she goes out in third, 26.9, 3 Ks. She's got to make up, what, 8 seconds, 9 seconds per lap or per kilometre. That's not an easy task. Out comes Hannah Öberg. That's looking a little bit more healthy, Mike.
She ended the race so well that unfortunately earlier on the targets missed, but she certainly has a chance now of moving up 1 place, 2 places.
Well, she's got to make up 16 seconds on Jean-Monod. Even that's a tough task. Half a second per 100 metres.
Skiing well from Hettisch Valtz. Her year away, she's come back, fresh mind, fresh focus, and faster legs. Oh, 4th shot missed.
Elvira Öberg still to come through, and actually Elvira Öberg's not in a bad position, Mike. 1:45 down, having missed 2. She's got that to with just about a minute behind, so she's going well. Anna Magnusson of Sweden ups her game as she comes into the last, well into the last kilometre now. If she can stay within 50 seconds of the race leader, that will see her into the top 4. She's really after Vitozzi. Tandrevold's going to tumble down yet another place. Vitozzi, I think, is she going to be safe? 54 is the margin. 4 seconds to get inside the Italian. She's done it. She's done it. 53.4. And Magnusson with an excellent race. Now, Sweden get another in the top 5. I think that goes down as a good day. Shirka Ida. Average for her standards and average for the top athletes here today. No one excelling on the range. But look at those flags in the background. That is why.
It is a tough test, and Suvi Minkinen normally puts those targets down with ease, but she's struggling. 2 missed in the last 5, and take them away, should be chasing first place. Certainly skiing faster this year, Minkinen.
Do you think she's up to game even from last year?
I do, definitely. Her shooting is much the same. Doesn't show that today on paper at missing 4. I think the shooting's there. And you know, that race, the mixed relay on Sunday, that's the best ever finished result. So 4 athletes, 2 men, 2 women. So as a nation, it's great to see the step forward Finland are making.
Well, talking about steps forward, what about Belgium? They could possibly have 2 in the top 10 today.
It's incredible.
Lotte Lee, who has really led the charge as far as the Belgium team are concerned over the last 5-6 years. She's been brilliant with the rifle, but at last she's got company. Cloytens is way ahead of her in 2nd place. Lotte Lee into 7, might just stay in the top 10. We've got some big names chasing at the moment. The Öbergs amongst them. Jean Richard now. Final shoot, and Richard just 33 seconds off the leaders. That's thrown her chances of a win. The chance was there.
The very last 2 shots, the thinking shots, the pressure shots, she missed them both.
One or two.
Quite an amazing finish at the moment, although Jean Monod could change that. She will get in the mix, she will push on to the podium, I'm quite sure. But at the moment, Benet, Clotens and Baserga.
Yeah, Jean Monod still 20 seconds behind Mike. She has gained exactly a second on Benet, who's 20.9 ahead. So it doesn't look as though she's going to be able to close that gap. But a podium finish, I think she'll be happy with. Cloytens has been pushed down to third. Hannah Öberg down into fourth. I think Öberg may well catch Cloytens, having taken 9 seconds out of her already.
What about Leinamo? She's taken the lead there after the fourth shoot by 15 seconds, so it's swung the way of Finland now.
Could be going to Sweden as well. Oh, she needed that. 3 misses is even for Elvira Öberg, is 1 too many for a podium, 2 too many in terms of a win.
The tension the coaches go through. Jean-Marc there, yeah, take that one shot missed away. The game is so different.
Knotten. A depressing miss on each of the first 3 shoots, and she finds herself 148 down into 8th place. That pushes Lotte Lee down to 9, Gandler of Austria down to 10. Still no, I was going to say no Italians in the top 10, but I have to correct that because Lisa Vitozzi has snuck in. She's in 5th position at the moment, 54 down, and Vitozzi is the fastest athlete with 3 misses. So that is something to write home about. May not stay that way. 2 misses from Lou Jean Monod. Cloytens is well beaten, I think. Oof. Well, maybe not. Wow. Maybe not. So Benet still leading. Jean Monod in 2nd. Cloytens hanging on to 3. Hannah Öberg is closing inch by inch, trying to get a home podium. Cloytens will be keeping fingers, toes crossed. Started number 11, Belgium athlete. And remember, a brilliant 8th place is her PB, so she's going to get a PB whatever happens. But Mike, even a 2.5 seconds is quite difficult to make up in those last 600 metres.
It is. It's an easy part of the track. Cloytens had a very powerful finish. Jean Monod, though, seems to be finding strength and speed from somewhere.
Yeah, and Hannah Öberg benefiting from having Lou Jean Monod ahead of her. She knows how important it is. Every single second. Is she going 3? Oh, she does. And she pushes Cloyten down to 4. That was an incredibly quick last little lap from Hannah Öberg. She was hungry. 25.9. She is back on the podium.
And that's missing 3 targets. What a ski pace. She did shoot fast. Hannah Öberg didn't let the wind slow her shooting pace down, gained some time there. And that was an amazing final lap for Hannah Öberg.
Yeah, brilliant. We saw her on the podium, 3 times last year. She, or twice, I think, last year. Hasn't had a win since 23. Hasn't got one here either. Now,
if Doro gets
another hit from Doro. That's nice. That's nice.
Really nice.
She might push, she may well push Hannah Öberg off the podium. We will see. 25 seconds. The difference between the race leader Benet and Öberg in 3rd. Dorothea Wierer is only going to be single figures, 9.3, and the chase is on. Now we're really going to find out what sort of shape she's in, Mike. But remember, her last 2 victories came here in Östersund.
They did. I don't think she's going to pull back 22 from Leinamo. It's an amazing day for the Finnish athlete.
Yeah, Leinamo will try and track her. She's gone through 13.1 and is still 22 clear of Benet. Here she is.
What a sensation. Only 23-year-old and, yes, Leinamo. It's unbelievable. Missing just
what's so
one.
Incredible, her shooting record last year, Mike, 72% in the prone, 65 in the stand, and here she is, having hit 19 out of 20, She's equaled the best shooting score of the day. Only 2 athletes have hit 19 out of 20. No one has gone clear.
It's quite incredible. They have done a lot of altitude training, 8 weeks of altitude training throughout the summer, and fairly recently come down from high altitude. But the race of her life and the most memorable event of her life to this point, I think it's going to be a win.
It could well be. It could well be. Barring disaster on that last loop, she's made the top 10 on 1 occasion. That came in Oberhof sprint last year. Suvi Minkkinen from Finland. She won't know what's going on behind her, I don't think. But with 4 penalties, she is out of contention. Only 2:04, so Minkkinen is skiing like the wind. I'm pretty sure we'll see her on the podium at some stage this season. Just trying to take it in. I'm not sure there will be any information on Leinamo. Here she is. Comes from Vuokatti, which is one of the venues where they have a ski tunnel. It's not often we see a coach smiling, Mike, but I don't think the Finnish team are going to be able to contain themselves.
Oh, amazing. We saw Kolstad throw his arms in the air. Of course, he's the Norwegian coach for the Finns, and he really has brought a lot of confidence, a lot of self-belief into this Finnish team over the last couple of years.
30 seconds to play with at the moment. It's not going to be quite as comfortable as we thought. She was at 22. She's still got a way to go before the clock will stop. As she turns right, there's a dead turn at the top of the hill. It's going to be much, much closer than they want. 12.6 to play with. Half the lead has gone, but it's pretty much downhill from here. Surely, if she stays on her feet, it's going to be top spot for Sonja Leinamo. Jean Richard, 9th position. The French with Benet leading. Jean Monod in 2nd at the moment. Richard in 9th. They've got 3 in the top 10.
Leinamo, she's so tired, she just needs to take a little care around this left-hander. The legs are burnt up. She's losing time. Little slip there. Well, there he is, Kolstad.
I think Camille Benet, that's cruel. She's doing the interview just as she sees the Finn coming in. She certainly has done enough racing to know that you don't celebrate until everyone is across the line. 15, 14, 13, it's counting, but she has plenty of snow in hand, and Sonja Leinamo takes the top spot, and that, I am pretty sure, is going to take the victory for Finland. How about that? And Suvi Minkkinen, the first to go and congratulate her.
That is so brilliant. I think they're both in tears there, just to that small nation in biathlon producing an unexpected victory.
Vera Öberg into 7th, so both the Öberg sisters in the top 10 today. Hannah has the advantage in 4th place, both of them missing 3 targets.
Vera still challenging, Patrick. I don't think she's going to pull back all of that 9.4, but Leinamo really did fade in the last 1 kilometre.
Yeah, I think really the battle is between Vera and Benet, isn't it, Mike, for 2nd and 3rd. Just looking at Vera's time coming out, when she left the range, she was 9.3, so actually she's lost a 10th of a second over the first part of the lap. Now, had Vera won today, or if she wins, we might see something spectacular. She would become the 2nd oldest winner on the women's tour. But it's not going to happen. But, you know, 2nd place, Mike, when the whole season is geared towards the Olympics in February for the Italians, I think this is just about the perfect start for them, and probably a lot better than they were hoping.
Well, and the coach leaping and sprinting alongside there. Was he aware of the 50 metres sprinting the excitement can take you over that point. I think Dorothea Wierer has had an amazing start to this season, and really on the back of a strong summer. She was much more focused on the task, training with the Italian men's team, and she really does look strong and focused this winter.
Yeah, this is where Wierer has got to light the fuse and explode up this final climb. I don't think there's too much left in those legs.
6 seconds, she's hauling in Leinamo, and Leinamo will be very nervous on the line. Oh, no, it's closing.
6.1 at 14.2, so 6 seconds to close in 800 metres. Now it's down to 2.1. Lynamo's celebrations may be short-lived, but it's still advantage Finland. I think it's still advantage Finland as Wierer comes into the last 600 metres. There is something about Östersund that suits Dorothea Wierer. Can she do it again? It would be massively, massively popular. 33 seconds. She's still got 200 metres to go. She's got to keep driving round the final corner. Now she can see the finish, and there's still 150 metres to go.
Oh, I think she's going to do it. It's 2 seconds. It's not a lot to ask, and it's easy terrain, but Leinamo was struggling over this last 500.
Watch the clock. The Finns have got their eyes on it. The Italians have got their eyes on it. It's going to be fractions of a second between them. Leinamo still with the advantage. 2 seconds left. Wierer goes in. 0.3 of a second. Takes top spot. And Finland and Leinamo push down a second. How about that? How about that? Leinamo can't quite believe it. Wierer can't believe it. That is absolutely astonishing. And she started a full 9.5 seconds behind the Finn at the start of that last loop. 35 years old or 35 years young. Dorothea Wierer is in business, and watch out at the Olympic Games.
Quite unbelievable. She had a sore back at the weekend. She said that she hoped the physio could put it back together again. Clearly that really worked well.
Wow, the roller coaster of emotions that Leinamo has been through over the last 2 minutes, almost unbearable.
Yeah.
But she's made a mark, she's made a name for herself, and she just has to accept she was beaten by a better athlete or a hungrier athlete. I really didn't think Wierer would have that in her might.
It didn't look like it at the top of the big rise. She was pacing herself. She knew that she had to keep the energy to the end, and definitely an advantage when you're chasing someone's time ahead of you. Wierer still hasn't quite come to terms. Have I really won? Quite amazing. She had 3 victories 2 years ago, and then prior to that, it was a couple of years before she had a victory. What a start to her season.
So there you heard Elvira Erberg saying they would the first thing they always discuss is how many targets they've hit or missed. And Elvira saying, no, I'm happy with that. I'm happy to be able to race, because at the weekend she had to miss out on the relays. Wierer looked good at the weekend. She looked even better today. Östersund is where she excels. Her last couple of wins coming here. Well, welcome back Anna Maka, who, by our reckoning, is the last athlete capable of challenging for a win. But there is absolutely no doubt that 20 targets have to fall. She's got 5 left, and she needs them all.
You can see the wind blowing her hair. It's certainly not easy conditions. And then your mind goes into turmoil. But the wind, I think this is as strong as we've seen a gust come through. What a real shame for Anna Maka.
Yeah, it's really bad luck. Really, really bad luck. 19, 20 kilometres an hour. What are we looking at? Force 3, verging on Force 4.
That's tough. She was so unfortunate there. Mother Nature making it difficult.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Athlete from Zakopane, which is the ski jumping mecca in Poland. Part of the World Cup Tour again this year. That will be second week in January, I think, 10th, 11th of January for the Zakopane spectacle. And if you're going to watch a ski jumping event, that is certainly one to go for. The Poles are into it. Øygaard with 4 misses. No one's shooting clear, Mike. Are you surprised?
I am surprised, to be truthful. Even on difficult days, you often get 1 or 2 just managing to control the last 5. There were 4 athletes coming into the final shoot who had cleared the first 15, and all of them missed on the last time in.
Yeah. Well, no one's gone 20 out of 20, but no one has missed 10 or more, so no one's in double figures, but we've got plenty of 8s and 9s. Tannheimer missing 9, Kuzmina missing 9, Vidal, Paradis missing 8.
I feel a little for Sonja Leinamo. She thought she had it, so did her team back up. Everybody thought she had it.
Yeah, Sandervold.
0.3 of a second.
Sandervold knows just what it's like to be beaten at the last minute. Astonishing turnaround. Vera really hasn't been at the races for the last 2 seasons, Mike. You know, she's not been in shape. She's not done all the races. But today and this week, she looks fantastic. She is in different form. The Olympics, I think, providing that much-needed motivation.
They now need to think and manage her racing. You know, we can see she's winning potential. They know now she's winning potential. At 35-year-old, what a task, what a brilliant summer she's had. But now I think they will look at February as the big focus. Clearly she's has that potential, and they need to nurture her form right now.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what the odds were on various athletes today, but anyone who put the money on the top 3 is going to walk away with enough cash to have a very, very good weekend somewhere. Vera, Leinamo, Benet, all totally unexpected. Maybe Vera, because she's got a good history here in Östersund, but I really didn't think her turnaround would be that spectacular.
She did look great. I thought on Saturday the magic was back. The movement on her skis were back when she led the Mass Start. Remember, she did beautiful shooting, beautiful rhythm, and handed over in first position. I certainly feel that she's able and has that capacity.
Yeah, but I'm so impressed because she left the range 9 seconds behind. She was still 9 seconds behind at the top of the hill, halfway round the loop, but she managed to pull it back on what essentially is the easiest part. Do you think it's all to do with the fact that Leinamo tied up and maybe paced that last lap wrong and went too hard on the climb?
A little, but when you take 9, you're so right the way you summarised it. By the time that she was at the top of the hardest climb, the next part of the track is such a long 400 metres downhill, then you have 200 metres climb, then another easy descent, 300 metres. I'll have to be honest, I think the skis glide factor played a huge part. Taking nothing away from Vera's aggression, she really wanted that another victory under her belt.
0.3 of a second, 0.3 of a second. But I think the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, when you leave the range, she will have got a split as she left the range, as we see Deutsch coming in. And she will have known it was 9 seconds. And then after 1.5 kilometres of the last loop, she knew it was still 9 seconds.
Yeah.
How did she find the hunger from there?
Do you know, the volume of her coach, I didn't see which coach it was, the intensity, and when your brain is in pain.